Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Always excited to explore.
Today, we're tackling a question that I've seen pop up a lot. Is Pilates really strength training? I think we tend to picture, graceful movements, amazing posture.
Yeah.
But our listener wants to know if it can really build strength. So we've got this awesome article. It's like a Pilates cheat sheet. Breaks down all the key points and benefits.
Nice.
Let's dive in and see what it says.
Yeah, I think a lot of people wonder about that. It's not a simple yes or no, is it?
Right. There are so many ways to define strength, like how does Pilates fit in?
Yeah. And it does build strength, but in a different way than maybe like traditional weightlifting.
Right. Okay, so that already has me intrigued. One thing that jumped out at me in the article is it talks about body weight resistance.
Okay.
So it's saying that you're constantly working against gravity in Pilates.
Yeah.
And you're engaging multiple muscle groups at once.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's got to be strength training, right?
Oh, absolutely. Think about like even planks or push-ups.
Yeah.
Classic strength training moves.
Totally.
And they're all using body weight resistance, right? So Pilates is taking that idea and kind of expanding on it.
Makes sense.
Using controlled movements, specific techniques, and really targeting those deeper muscles that you might not hit with traditional weightlifting.
So it's not just about like big, bulky muscles. It's like functional strength through your whole body.
Exactly. And a big part of that is core strength, which, I mean, Pilates is known for, right?
Yeah. It's like their thing.
But the article makes a really good point about how it's not just, six-pack abs.
Oh, okay.
We're talking like deep internal strength, like your obliques are involved, your lower back, even the pelvic floor.
See, now, pelvic floor, that's not a muscle group I think about every day.
Right.
Why is that so important for, overall strength?
It's crucial. A strong pelvic floor, that's going to contribute to stability. It helps with posture, even helps prevent like back pain.
Interesting.
Think about your core like a cylinder, right?
Okay.
You've got the diaphragm at the top, your abdominal muscles in the front, back muscles at the back, and then the pelvic floor is at the bottom.
Gotcha.
So Pilates strengthens all sides of this cylinder, giving you this really powerful foundation for your body.
So that makes sense. It's like building a strong, stable base.
Exactly.
Where you can, do all the other things you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. And this kind of core strength, I mean, it translates to better performance in everything. It doesn't matter if you're an athlete, a dancer, or just like living your life.
Right.
Strong core helps you move more efficiently. You're going to have better balance.
Makes sense.
And it even protects your spine from injury.
Wow, okay. I'm starting to get why people rave about Pilates.
Yeah.
But one thing that strikes me as different is like all the movements are so slow and controlled.
Yeah.
That seems like the opposite of what you see at the gym.
Yeah, totally a different approach, but super effective.
Okay.
Think about it. Slower movements actually force those muscles to work harder.
Really?
Because you're engaging them constantly.
Oh, I see.
You need control.
Okay.
You're not just relying on momentum to like power through.
So it's more about like precision and endurance than just raw power.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Okay.
And there's even like a scientific side to this.
Oh.
Those slow, controlled movements, they're actually engaging different types of muscle fibers.
Yeah.
Specifically the ones that are responsible for stability and endurance.
Yeah, that's...
This is why Pilates is so good for building like lean, toned muscles.
Right.
Improving posture.
Okay, so we're seeing how Pilates builds strength, but in a different way than, say, lifting heavy weights.
Yeah.
Does the article, like, directly compare the two?
It does,
So-
and it highlights how they both have their own, like, unique benefits. Traditional strength training, like weightlifting, that's often about building muscle mass.
Right, like getting bigger.
Yeah, maximizing power.
Okay.
Pilates is more about, like, overall functional strength, core stability, and this mind-body connection.
That's something I hear a lot about with Pilates, the mind-body connection.
Yeah.
What does that actually mean, like, in practice?
So it's about being, like, fully present in your body. You're focusing on your breath.
Okay.
You're engaging your mind to control your movements.
Right.
It's not just going through the motions.
Gotcha.
It's bringing awareness and intention to every exercise.
So it's almost like meditative.
It is, yeah.
I'm starting to see why people find it so beneficial.
Yeah.
Like beyond just the physical stuff.
Absolutely. It's a holistic approach to fitness.
Okay.
Impacts you, like, physically and mentally.
But let's be honest, sometimes Pilates seems a bit intimidating. Like,
Yeah.
the movements are so controlled and precise.
Right.
And then you have all the equipment, like
The machines.
the reformer, all that.
Yeah.
Is it really something a beginner can just, like, jump into?
That's a common concern. But the article really stresses that, like, good instructors can modify exercises for anyone.
Okay.
And it's all about starting with proper form
Right.
and progressing gradually.
So you don't have to be, like, super flexible or already strong.
Nope, not at all. Actually, starting with Pilates can help you develop that flexibility and strength over time.
Okay, cool.
And, listening to your body is key in any exercise program.
Oh, for sure.
Especially when you're new to something.
Yeah. Good advice. So, okay, we're seeing what sets Pilates apart. But back to the big question. Does the article say it's real strength training?
It does. It's very clear. Pilates is a highly effective way to build strength.
Okay.
Just maybe not the bulky kind.
Right.
It's about functional strength
Okay.
for everyday life.
Okay.
Supporting good posture, preventing injuries, helping you move with ease and grace.
Awesome. So, question answered, but I also got curious about the equipment,
Yeah.
like the reformer. What's the deal with those?
No reformer.
Do they, like, take things up a notch?
Oh, for sure. It's like the secret weapon of the Pilates world. Imagine a sliding platform
Okay.
with springs and pulleys for resistance, so it lets you have a wider range of motion.
Okay.
Adds that variable resistance to the exercises, so they're even more challenging.
So it's like amping up the intensity.
You could say that, yeah.
But wouldn't that make it harder for beginners?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
A good instructor, they can guide you through modified exercises on the reformer.
Okay.
It can actually be a good way to build strength gradually, too, because it provides support and feedback, which can be really helpful for beginners who are still, like, getting their form down.
So it's not just for Pilates pros.
No, not at all. Some people even find it easier to start on the reformer
Interesting.
because it gives you more support than just mat work.
Huh. I'm adding that to my to-do list. Try reformer Pilates.
Do it.
All right, so wrapping up, we learned Pilates IS strength training,
Yeah,
but with a different focus.
different approach.
It's all about that core strength, flexibility, the mind-body connection.
for everyone.
And remember, strength comes in many forms.
Absolutely.
It's not just about how much you can lift.
Yeah,
It's about building a body that can, like, do all the things you need and want it to do.
totally.
Move gracefully through life. But this has left me with more questions. The article mentions some types of yoga can also count as strength training.
Right.
Oh,
That's true. When you think about holding those challenging yoga poses like plank or warrior 3,
yeah.
those require strength, endurance.
Oh, for sure.
It just shows you strength training can come in so many forms. You don't always need weights or equipment to challenge those muscles.
Maybe that's a deep dive for another day.
Definitely.
But for now, I think we've got a good foundation for understanding how Pilates builds strength.
We've debunked some myths along the way, too.
Exactly. And hopefully this sparked some curiosity in our listeners.
I hope so. I was really struck by how the article reframed, like, what strength training even means. We think it's got to be lifting heavy weights at the gym.
Yeah, that's what comes to mind.
Right.
But it really broadened my perspective.
Yeah.
It's saying any activity that makes your muscles work harder,
Yeah,
that's strength training.
it is. So those weights are a tool,
Right.
but not the only path to strength.
And it makes a great point about how, like, using your own body weight
Yeah.
for resistance,
Uh-huh.
that's a totally valid
Totally.
and often overlooked form of strength training.
It is.
Like push-ups, squats, lunges,
Yep.
holding a plank, even
Yeah.
engages so many muscles, builds serious strength.
It does.
And the best part is, like, you can do those anywhere,
Yeah.
anytime. No equipment needed.
Exactly.
And then Pilates, as we were talking about,
Right.
takes that bodyweight resistance
Yeah.
to a whole other level
Mhm.
with the precise movements and engaging those deep stabilizing muscles.
Exactly. Pilates is all about leveraging your body weight, gravity, to create that resistance.
Okay.
And because you're controlling the movement so precisely,
Yeah.
you're working those muscles even harder than you might with those more traditional exercises.
It's like a secret weapon for strength building.
Yeah.
And it even mentioned yoga as a potential, like,
It depends on the style, the poses, but yeah.
but some of those poses where you're holding your body weight in these challenging positions.
Oh, yeah.
That's got to be building strength.
Absolutely. And it's a good reminder, that fitness doesn't have to be one specific thing. There are so many ways to challenge your body
I love that.
and get stronger.
Speaking of challenging your body, I'm curious about the Pilates machines.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically, the reformer.
Hmm?
How does using a reformer
Okay.
change like the strength training aspect of Pilates?
Okay. That's where it gets fun. The reformer is like the secret weapon in the Pilates world. It's like a sliding platform, and it uses springs and pulleys for resistance.
Okay.
So this setup, it gives you a much wider range of motion, and it adds variable resistance to the exercises, making them even more challenging.
So it amps up the intensity.
You could say that, but it's not just about like more resistance. The reformer lets you target really specific muscle groups with incredible precision.
Oh, wow.
And because it provides that support, that guidance, it actually makes some of those harder Pilates exercises more accessible.
Oh, interesting. So even though it sounds intimidating,
Yeah,
it could actually be good for beginners.
totally. As long as you're working with a good instructor who can tailor things
Right.
to your level.
Okay.
In fact, some people find the reformer to be a gentler entry point than mat work because it gives you more support.
Fascinating. I'm adding try reformer Pilates to my
You
list.
should. It's great.
Okay, so I'm getting a clearer picture of the reformer thing. But it seems like there's so much variety within Pilates mat work, reformer, different styles.
Yeah, there are.
It's a lot.
It is. But that's good, right? It means you can find what works best for you.
True.
Your goals, preferences, fitness level.
So it's all about finding what works best for you
Yeah,
and your body.
exactly. Whether you're looking for something gentle or something more intense, there's a Pilates style out there for everybody.
Okay. I'm starting to understand why so many people are so passionate about Pilates.
Yeah.
It's not just a workout. It's like,
It's a system.
yeah, a system of movement. And it's all in one. It's strength training, flexibility, mindfulness.
That's it.
It's a whole package.
And that mind-body connection is a huge part of what makes Pilates special.
Yeah, yeah. It's about like being present
Right,
in your body, focusing on your breath,
right.
moving with intention.
Exactly.
I could see how that would be beneficial,
Yeah,
both physically and mentally.
absolutely. And it's something that can benefit anyone, no matter what your fitness level is or your experience. It's about finding that balance. Strength, flexibility, mental focus.
I love that. Okay, before we move on, there was one more point in the article about Pilates that I found interesting.
Okay.
It talked about how the intensity of Pilates
Yeah.
can be a bit of a misconception.
Uh-huh.
It's sometimes labeled as gentle,
Yeah.
but we know that's not always the case.
That's one of the biggest myths about Pilates, right? It
Right.
can be a super challenging workout,
Yeah,
even without any weights or equipment.
exactly. And the article highlighted how the intensity really depends on a few factors.
Okay, like what?
Well, first, the specific exercises.
Okay.
Some moves are just inherently more challenging,
Yeah, that makes sense.
requiring more strength and balance and control.
Right, yeah. Like holding a teaser pose is going to be way more demanding than a basic roll-up.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then there's the instructor,
Yeah.
right? A really skilled Pilates instructor can make even simple exercises feel super intense.
Oh, yeah.
By focusing on proper form and engagement,
Uh-huh.
those subtle movements that really activate the muscles.
Totally. A great instructor is like an artist,
Yeah.
sculpting your body,
Yeah.
guiding you to access those muscles you didn't even know you had.
And then obviously,
Yeah.
like your own fitness level, your experience, that plays a role.
Oh, yeah. Big time. What's challenging for one person might be a warm-up for someone else.
Totally.
Absolutely. It's all about listening to your body, not pushing too far,
Right.
and having a qualified instructor. They can help you gauge that,
Yeah.
and make adjustments.
So it's finding that sweet spot, challenging yourself,
Yeah,
but not overdoing it.
exactly. That's one of the beautiful things about Pilates, It's
Yeah.
adaptable, it's versatile,
Yeah.
and it's all about finding what works for your body.
Love that. This whole conversation has really shifted my perspective on Pilates. It's not about looking a certain way.
Right.
It's about building a strong body
Yeah,
that supports you in everything you do.
exactly. You've got it. And I think that's a great message to share with anyone who's curious about Pilates.
Yeah.
It's not about striving for some external ideal.
Yeah.
It's about understanding your body and what it can do.
This has been so insightful.
Yeah.
But it feels like we've only just scratched the surface
Right.
of this Pilates world.
There's always more to explore. But I think we've given people a good foundation to understand, how Pilates builds strength and how it can benefit everybody.
Totally. We've busted some myths, explored different ways to do it.
Yeah,
Hopefully sparked some curiosity.
I hope so.
And speaking of curiosity, there's one more thing in the article that I thought was really interesting. It talked about how Pilates can be really good for preventing injuries, specifically back pain.
Oh, yeah.
Why is Pilates so good for back health?
Well, it goes back to that core strength and stability we were talking about.
Right.
Pilates helps you build this strong, supportive core. And it basically acts like an internal brace for your spine.
Interesting.
So when your core's strong, it takes the pressure off your back.
Makes sense.
Less risk of pain and injury.
So it's not just about treating back pain after it happens.
Yeah.
It's about preventing it in the first place.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just strengthening, too.
On what?
Pilates focuses on proper alignment, posture.
Yeah.
Lots of the exercises are about lengthening, decompressing the spine,
Huh.
which can really help if you're sitting all day
Oh, for sure.
or have bad posture.
I'm guilty of that. Slouching at my desk,
Yeah.
definitely feel it in my back by the end of the day.
It's so common. We're all sitting so much these days.
Right.
But if you add Pilates into your routine,
Yeah.
you can counteract those imbalances, build strength, flexibility, specifically in those muscles that support your spine.
So it sounds like Pilates could be really life-changing for people with, chronic back pain.
It can be. And it's not limited to back pain either. Pilates can help prevent other injuries too,
Oh, really?
especially ones from muscle imbalances,
Makes sense?
more weaknesses.
That's pretty amazing. I'm
Yeah.
seriously seeing Pilates in a whole new light now.
Yeah,
It's not just about, looking good,
Yeah.
being flexible.
right.
It's about building a body that's strong and can, move well.
You got it.
Yeah.
It's about that harmony.
Yeah.
Strength, flexibility, mindful movement, and the best part, anyone can benefit.
I love that.
Doesn't matter your age, fitness level, any physical limitations.
Speaking of benefits, have you experienced the benefits of Pilates?
I actually have.
Oh, cool.
I've been incorporating the principles, some of the exercises into my own workouts
Okay.
for a while now, and I really notice a difference.
Really? In what way?
My core's stronger, my posture's better, even my flexibility has improved.
Wow, so you're walking the walk.
Trying to. I think it's important to, experience these things myself
Right.
before recommending them to others.
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
Now I'm even more inspired to try it.
Yeah.
Maybe we should even take a class together sometime.
I'm down. Always up for an adventure.
All right, it's a date. But before we get ahead of ourselves, back to our deep dive.
Right.
We covered so much myth busting, different approaches,
Yeah.
Pilates equipment. Anything else from the article you think is important to mention?
There is one thing I wanted to highlight. It mentioned how good Pilates is for people who are new to exercise.
Oh, interesting. Why is that?
Well, it's because it's so adaptable.
Okay.
You can start slow, gentle exercises, and gradually increase the intensity as you get stronger.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
It's not like jumping into the deep end.
Right. And it's low impact.
Yeah.
So it's easy on your joints, which is great for all ages, all fitness levels.
It makes it way less intimidating for beginners.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pilates meets you where you are, helps you progress at your own pace.
All right.
And because it's all about proper form, it can actually help you build good movement habits that'll benefit you in everything.
That's a great point. It's not just about the workout itself. It's like a foundation.
For
You're moving well your whole life.
It's an investment
Yeah,
in your long-term health and well-being.
love that. Okay, I think we covered everything. We busted myths, explored the science behind it, even got a little personal.
We did.
If this got you curious, we encourage you to keep exploring Pilates. Whether you try a class, do some research, or just start incorporating some moves into your day.
Yeah.
We know you'll discover the benefits.
There are so many.
And remember, the journey to strength, flexibility, well-being, it's ongoing.
It is.
There's always more to learn and explore about your amazing body.
Absolutely.
And we're here to support you on that journey. Any questions, topic suggestions, even if you just want to share your own Pilates experience,
Yeah.
let us know.
We'd love to hear from you.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep moving,
Yeah.
and keep those cores strong.